Okay. Anyone who tries to follow global climate action knows it can feel, well, huge, overwhelming even.
Right. You hear these massive targets, big summits.
Exactly. But how does it all actually get tracked? Measured, verified on the ground. What are the real steps forward?
That's the key question, isn't it?
So today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that, a really concrete example. We're looking at Peru, specifically its Ministry of Environment and their national registry, RENAME.
RENAME, yeah.
Okay.
The National Registry of Mitigation Measures.
And what's fascinating here, and we're drawing this directly from Verra, who are big players in this, what's fascinating is how one country's moves can kind of shine a light on the whole global system.
It really can.
Yeah.
It helps make sense of the mechanics.
Okay, let's unpack this then.
Well, understanding global climate action, it really does come down to these national efforts. And Peru's RENAME, it's basically their official ledger for climate action. Think of it like an accounting book.
But for carbon, not cash.
Exactly. And it has to be rigorous. It tracks every ton of carbon reduced or removed right across the country, and it has to meet these international standards.
So the Ministry of Environment uses it to see how they're doing on their NDCs, their nationally determined contributions?
Precisely. Those are the climate goals they set for themselves under the Paris Agreement. RENAME is how they track progress.
And it's that measuring part that's so important, not just, making promises. RENAME brings the transparency.
Yes. It tracks the actual emission reductions and the carbon dioxide removals from all their mitigation efforts. That's how they monitor if they're hitting those climate goals.
Got it. But for a national system like this to mean anything globally, it needs solid standards behind it, right?
Absolutely. And that's where Verra enters the picture. Verra is a nonprofit. They operate these standards in environmental and social markets. They're a major entity here.
And they run the VCS program.
That's right, the Verified Carbon Standard Program. It's really the world's leading carbon crediting program.
Okay, so Verra sets the high bar for what counts as a real reduction, and Peru recognized this.
They did. Earlier this year, Peru's government officially said, yes, the VCS program is an eligible way to certify carbon credits for our system, for RENAME.
That sounds foundational. What does certify carbon credits actually mean in this context?
Good question. So think of a carbon credit like a certificate. It represents 1 metric ton of CO2 equivalent that's been taken out of the atmosphere or stopped from going up there in the first place.
Yeah.
The VCS program provides the rules, the really strict framework to make sure these credits are, real, measurable, additional.
Additional meaning they wouldn't have happened anyway.
Exactly. And permanent and independently verified. So by recognizing VCS, Peru is basically saying, we trust Verra's rules for creating these high-quality credits that we can count.
So Peru built its carbon accounting house on this solid foundation. And when they first did this, they didn't just approve the whole program broadly. They picked specific methodologies.
That's right. They got specific from the start. Initially, they approved 2 VCS methodologies for RENAME.
Which ones were those?
The first was VM00 Thor 7 that covers afforestation, reforestation, and revegetation. Basically planting trees and restoring vegetation.
Makes sense. And the second?
That was VM00048, focused on reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation, or REDD. So protecting existing forests.
Right. The ARR and REDD methodologies, kind of the classic nature-based solutions, super important for carbon storage.
Absolutely vital. These lay the groundwork for measuring carbon saved or soaked up by forests, making sure it's quantifiable, trustworthy for carbon markets.
So they started with the big, obvious stuff, forests. But the really interesting part, the news we're digging into, is that they didn't stop there.
No, they didn't.
Just last week, July 10th, 2025, Peru approved 3 more methodologies from Verra's VCS program.
That's the latest development, yeah. And this really broadens the picture.
Okay, let's break these new ones down. What's the first?
The first is VM0010. It's a methodology for improved forest management, specifically looking at converting forests from being logged to being protected. Version 1.4.
Ah, so it's more nuanced than just planting or protecting. It's about changing how a forest is managed.
Exactly. Shifting from, say, timber harvesting towards long-term carbon storage and conservation. It shows a deeper engagement with forest management.
Interesting. Okay, what's the second new one?
This one, VM00001, really shifts gears. It's for the recovery and destruction of ozone-depleting substances, ODS, from products. Version 1.1.
ODS, like the stuff in old fridges.
Precisely. Things like CFCs, HCFCs. And this might sound niche, But these gases are incredibly potent greenhouse gases. We're talking thousands of times more warming potential than CO2.
Wow, so targeting those gives you a big bang for your buck, climate-wise.
A huge bang. So Peru is looking beyond just forests, targeting these really concentrated sources of emissions, often found in old equipment, industrial processes.
Okay, that's a strategic move. And the third new one?
The third one is VMR 0008. This is actually a revision to an existing methodology type, focusing on the recovery and recycling of materials from e-waste, version 1.0.
E-waste, like old computers, phones.
Exactly, electronic waste. This one's fascinating because it shows just how diverse climate action can be. We often think big energy, big forests.
But this is about recycling electronics properly.
Yes, managing e-waste is crucial. Improperly handled, it can release emissions. Plus, there's huge potential for recovering materials instead of mining new ones. It shows a really comprehensive view of mitigation.
It's kind of funny, isn't it? Climate action can mean protecting a rainforest, but it can also mean dealing with your old laptop. That diversity is really striking.
It is, and that's the bigger picture here. Peru approving the VCS program and now these 5 quite different methodologies.
Yeah.
It really signals the quality of the VCS program.
And its ability to actually plug into national systems, right, to support these compliance markets.
Exactly. It shows it can integrate and genuinely help countries meet their goals. This isn't just theoretical, it's a real-world example.
So it shows how you take these global standards, these big ideas about carbon credits, and actually apply them to hit specific national targets. It gives us a concrete look at how these registries work to deliver measurable, verified impact. This is how you actually advance climate action, methodically, one detailed methodology at a time.
So to sum it up for everyone listening, what we're seeing is Peru using established, high-quality international standards like Verra's VCS to meet their climate promises.
Right, and doing it across a whole range of activities, from protecting forests, which we expect, to managing ODS and recycling e-waste, which maybe we don't think about as much in this context.
Which really brings us to a final thought, doesn't it? For you, the listener, to maybe chew on.
Yeah.
As countries everywhere look to get more serious about their climate goals, seeing these specific granular methodologies from Peru, well, how might that spark new ideas?
Like finding climate action in unexpected places. Exactly. What other kinds of waste, maybe, or what other management practices out there hold untapped potential for cutting emissions? Things we haven't even thought about trying to certify yet.
That's a really interesting question. Where else could these kinds of rigorous standards be applied? It definitely opens up the possibilities.